Good afternoon and good evening. This is Financial Literacy 101. I'm your host, Ross World. And today's topic, we're going to discuss what's the number one reason why you're not making money? What is the number one reason why you're not making money? First and foremost, now that I have them right here, I have my shirt that I told you guys I was going to create. Thank you, Miss Curly Girl, for chiming in. The Ross World shirt. The link is in the description. It is here. It is here. Matter of fact, how about just show the ones that I have right here instead of, see the emblem in the back? These are real short shirts. I'm actually excited. These are the first shirts I ever made in my life. Okay. It's actually exciting to see something that you created and bring it to for it being real. Okay. So yeah, I'm modeling my own stuff. I will show some of my t-shirts later that I created. Me and my partner, we created some more. I like them. They look much better in person. Now, the only thing with this particular shirt, and I talked about it, I might get with the designer, is that, the color right here, it looks kind of pink, but it does blend well with the black, but it looks kind of like deep red and then turns into like light red, orange, pink. But for the most part, it's a really nice, beautiful, bold shirt. I wanted the first shirt to be very, very bold because one thing I always say is my money makes money. Learn money and be inspired. That's right under the Ross World logo. Anyway, the number one reason why you're not making money. Does anyone know why the number one reason why you're not making money? I'll give you about 5 seconds. If anyone, even you, Miss Curly Girl, if you will, tell me the number one reason why you think that people or yourself are not making money. All right. So, good evening, Lakeisha. So here's the reason why. It's great feelings to create your own shirts. Oh, okay, thank you. So the number one reason I believe that most people don't make money is not because they lack the intelligence. A lot of people are very intelligent. Either they tapped into it or they have not. But here's the thing: procrastination. That is one. But the number one reason I believe, right, and it's it already, fear. Fear. See, I love to give you guys definitions because the name speaks for itself. Financial Literacy 101 means that you should be getting taught finances on a very basic level that also may be life changing, right? Something that you can understand. Because anytime you go to college, right, or you go to a class and it says 101, that means that is the first class in the succession of those classes that you may take, like English 101, English 201, English 301, meaning that the first English class should be easy. Like it's like an introduction to it. And that's what I like to base my channel off of. So you guys get the basic knowledge to propel your finance. And believe me, this is all you really need. You can get deeper into it because I go deep sometimes. But for the most part, I try to give you guys the education behind finance. All right. The definition of fear, because we understand that fear is the number one reason why you're not making money, is the number one reason why you're not successful. I should know because I was fearful. Fear is a feeling induced by perceived danger or threat that occurs in certain types of organisms, which causes a change in metabolic and organ functions. I wonder, when I'm scared, sometimes I gotta pee. I wonder when they mean organs. Never mind. And ultimately a change in behavior, such as fleeing, hiding, or freezing from perceived traumatic events. Here's another one: fear, an unpleasant feeling triggered by the perception of danger, real or imagined. Think about that. Fear, an unpleasant feeling triggered by the perception of danger, real or imaginary, like you just made it up. Remember when we were young, and I'm still 25, and I know you guys are a little older, so. But anyway, remember when you guys were young, and we were just like All of us was like afraid of the dark. There wasn't too many people not afraid of the dark. Now, granted, movies, our parents, etc., but we was afraid because we could not see. See, in finances, you can't see the money you make. Everything is estimation. Everything is educated guesses. Everything is built on statistics. Everything is built on analytics. But you can't see what you're going to make. Fear. Fear. We also understand in fear that we get with the fight or flight. Right here it says fleeing, hiding, or freezing. I've experienced all of that. I flee from doing the things I should have been doing 10 years ago. I've been hiding from the things I should have been doing 10 years ago. And I definitely have been frozen of the things I should have been doing 10 years ago. But the one thing where our most basic instincts, give me 1 second. My alarm going off. Sorry about that. But the one thing that I have not been doing, you had those two options, right? Fight or flight. Fight or flight. Because Darwin says only the strong will survive. Now, I need for you to take that narrative. I need for you to take that piece of information that he put out and have that to be a base. Have that to be fuel, because you shouldn't just want to survive, because you guys are surviving. You're on the internet, you got cable, what about thriving? What about living the life you want to live? What about that? See, we're not doing that. See, we're not fighting. We're fleeing. Okay? We're leaving. Fight or flight. Fight or flight. And we are so used to running away that we're not willing to fight for what we want to do. And a big portion of that is because you can't see it. You can't see it. And I understand that was my fear, that I could not see it. And then someone says, you'll hear people in business says this all the time. Sometimes you have to hit rock bottom in order for you to fight, in order to be successful. Now, I can take that a few different ways. When you mean rock bottom, I don't want to be rock bottom financially, right? I'm building something, and so I don't want to be there. But you can hit rock bottom psychologically, the way you think about things. You're like so depressed, like, man, I should have started my business a long time ago. Man, I should have started investing a long time ago. Man, if I was just 35 again, I could have started saving money. I don't got no money in the bank. So you're fleeing from the situation. And some of you believe that you're too old, okay, or that you're too far in debt that you can get out. That's what you believe. Well, here's a loophole. Here's a loophole to debt. But the debt collectors, they know the loophole, and that's why they try to pretty much reverse the loophole. Like I'll explain. You get into debt, and then that debt hits collection. Once it hits collection and on your credit report, it takes 7 years for it to get off. But what do collectors do? A collector will sell it to another debt collector, right? And then it refreshes on your credit. But contrary to popular belief, if you use my debt credit letters, right, that are 100% free, right, that are 100% free, then you can actually get it off your credit report. Why? Because the FCRA, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, says, 609 and 611 says that if that creditor does not have your signature, that they must remove it. They must delete it from your credit report. Yes, this has helped thousands of people, okay? Thousands of people. And those thousands of people didn't buy my t-shirt. This is what you call subliminal messaging. Right when someone's talking, to keep flashing advertising, that's me. I know, see, mine. But I'm very transparent about what I do. If you notice, maybe I give away too much information, but I don't care. I want to be real with you guys because, yeah, I'm trying to sell my t-shirts. Why? So I can build things to give things back to you guys for free. The t-shirt, I like it. Anyway, I'll show you the rest of the t-shirts later. But we need to no longer flee or flight or run away scared from stepping into greatness, right? So here's the thing about debt. Once you have these debt collectors, you have this collection account on your credit report, people will tell you, okay, man, that'll drop off in 7 years. And some of you are like, man, it's been 7 years, it's still on there. 9 times out of 10, what they do is they refresh your account. And I mean by refresh is they actually lie and say that the account started at a particular date. They're like, oh no, it didn't start in 2008, it started in 2018. And now you have to fight with Experian, Equifax, and Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion about that. That's an old account. So you have to continue to use these letters to let them know. And see, these letters are based. You can edit them and you can word them as need be, but they already have legal jargon inside of it. But when creditors does this particular thing, I have yet to make a credit letter to basically word stating that this account is an erroneous account. I've never had this account, or this account has been altered and this account is more than 7 years old. Please remove from my credit report. That is something that you guys can do, okay? Because I spent a little bit of money back in the day with these credit letters. Me and the lawyer sat down. He walked away rich. I walked away poor, but it helped my credit, okay? And I'm a big person when it comes to credit because credit will allow you to run that business you've been afraid to. Because some of you like, man, I don't have the money and I don't have the credit score in order to go get a business loan. So you have to work on your credit, okay? You have to work on your credit. And these creditors, and listen, don't beat creditors up unless they're being facetious, unless they're being evil, unless they're being manipulative, unless they're altering your documents. But essentially, let's be real, guys. You went out, you got a loan in your name, you fell through hard times, or you just didn't want to spend the money you had paying back the loan that you took out. Most of us have done that. I have taken out loans. I remember this, and I've said this before. When my freshman year in college, I applied for, no, I'm sorry, no, I didn't. It came in the mail, in my college mail. I guess all the credit card companies know when you're in college, I guess. And so, Discover Card, application came. And I was like, oh, apply for $5,000. I said, okay, why not, right? Inner city school kid in college. Don't know any better. Never been taught about money or credit. I get this card back. They say your credit limit is $5,000. Credit limit, $5,000. So I have $5,000. So what do an inner city college kid from DC do with $5,000? You turn up. I was lit every weekend for a month. Yes, I spent $5,000 partying in a month. Me and my boy threw parties. We got rental cars. We did it all. And then when I spent that $5,000, it was just me and my boy and all the people who were benefiting and drinking and having fun. They disappeared. But I'm glad it happened because I learned my lesson. I learned my lesson really quickly with debt, because I was dealing with debt at the age of 18, 19. Not debt that my parents or my family gave, the debt that I did myself because I was uninformed. Okay, I was ignorant of finances. Okay, all right. I'm gonna read some of your notes. I'm gonna get back into the conversation. Lakeisha C says expenses versus income, the wants versus needs. Yes, very basic stuff, Lakeisha. That's very great information. I love it. What else do we have here? And Lakeisha also says, yes, your mind has to be reset because we live in a constant state of fear. Now, if you guys have any questions, please leave it in the chat. Also, if you want any links to any financial information, you want help with your finances or anything like that, I do offer financial advice for 5 minutes for totally free through email or over the phone. Also, I told people this in one of maybe 2 videos ago that if you purchase one of my t-shirts, the link is in the description. If you purchase one of my t-shirts, if you take a picture of the t-shirt on you or on a bed or your dress or whatever, and you send it to my email that's listed below, I will give you 20 minutes of my time. We'll work on your budget, we'll work on your credit, we'll work on investing, etc. And again, the first t-shirts that are out, yes, I'm advertising and marketing my t-shirts. is this particular t-shirt right here. Okay. And on the back, all right, with the emblem in the top neck part. I'm wearing it right now. You want to see it? Okay. All right. So how do we break the cycle of fear when it comes to being successful and making money, investing, saving, doing multiple streams of income? How do we break the cycle of fear in those regards? Does anyone have any suggestions? Anyone have any ideas? I have one simple solution. I'm very basic. One simple solution. And you heard it 1 trillion times. Does anyone have any suggestions? Thank you, Wisdom Shelley. Did you buy a t-shirt? Talking about you love the t-shirt. Oh man. Does anyone know? Give me one idea. Tell me what you think is the one solution behind breaking the cycle of fear. Anyone? Anyone, someone. Educate yourself. William Shelley says educate yourself. Yes. Everyone knows that my philosophy is before you go out and do something, have some basic knowledge of doing it, right? You can never be 1000% educated in one topic, meaning that you can't know everything, right? First of all, nobody likes to know it all. One. Then two, you won't know it all. So once you have a basic knowledge of something, right? Once you have a basic knowledge of something, there's still going to be some sort of fear. There's still going to be some level of fear. What is the one thing? Thank you, Jermaine Scott. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Take action. Nike, just do it. Just do it. Okay? I remember going out for football, and I wanted to, I played football and I was in Pop Warner League. But when I got into the big leagues, like junior high school and high school, that first hit, that first game, you're a little antsy, you're a little nervous, you may be a little scared. But until you just get that first hit, until you get that first play under you, you good. Once you get out there, you know what I'm saying, you lay a hit on somebody, bow! You know what I'm saying? You're like, okay, I'm good now. That's the exact same way you have to do with your finances. You have to just start to invest. You have the information. You have the information. I always question myself this. Someone always asks me, they say, hey, Ross, why don't you have more subscribers? I really don't know. But here's the thing. I can have one subscriber and I'll talk to that one subscriber. I sure will, because I want to help one person. See, my thing is when you have goals of helping 1 million people, you may do too much too fast, or you may run yourself ragged. But if I focus on that one, because I know that one is actually 1,000,001. But if I focus on that one, I talk to that one person, everybody else is going to feel it. And then if you be real, if you be transparent, if you be truthful about you, see, that's the thing. When people give you information, they have to be true with themselves. Like, I don't mind telling you my flaws. I don't mind telling you my history. I don't mind telling you my trials and tribulations, because I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I do dumb things just like you. Okay? So sometimes we may look at somebody like, oh, they're so perfect. How do I get there? They never mess up. Wait a minute, he killed his whole family. What? Whoa, what? Hey, I thought why people are so surprised when people do evil things? You're not living with them day to day. You don't know what's going on. So here's the thing. In order to be even more authentic, you have to give people your story, right? When you give people your story, guess what happens when I give you my story? I have no fear. I have no fear of what people think about me, because I tell you who I am, because I know who I am. So the fear is alleviated. But Jermaine Scott says, take action. See, Jermaine came inside the chat room. He's like, what are you talking about? Oh, take action. Take a step out. Just do it. And that's what you have to do. Jermaine says, I'm dealing with this now. Well, Jermaine, you came in, brother, with a powerful statement. And since you already know the answers, then you have to go out and just do it. You have to take action. Okay. And I'm here to assist people. I'm here to assist people in any way that I can. I surely am. All my information to contact me, to links to investment platforms are in the link below. But the number one reason why you're not making money, the number one reason why you're not successful is because fear. And for you guys who just came on, I'm going to read the definition of fear again. I have two definitions. Fear is a feeling induced by perceived danger or threat that occurs in certain types of organisms, which causes a change in metabolic and organ functions and ultimately a change in behavior, such as fleeing, hiding, or freezing from perceived traumatic events. Here's a second definition of fear. An unpleasant feeling triggered by the perception of danger, real or imagined. An unpleasant feeling triggered by the perception of danger, real or imagined. Do you understand what I'm getting at when we talk about fear? It says perceived, like you don't even know why you are afraid. You just perceived a danger, like, oh, if I invest, I'm gonna lose all my money because the stock market's gonna crash. Oh, well, if I start my own business and it don't work out, I'm gonna be homeless. Well, if I walk outside and get hit by a car, I'll be dead. If you get, chances are if you get hit by a car that's going 80 miles per hour, you probably would die or you'd be a vegetable. But see, what I'm getting at, you can't live your life by fear. Like tomorrow, if I'm not doing everything I can every day to be successful, to be a loving person to my family, to be a man, just doing the things that I need to do to be successful in all areas of my life, not just finances. Okay, not just finances, my personal, my life, my business life, all those things. If you're not trying to better yourself every day and tomorrow you're hospitalized, you probably kill yourself with anxiety and depression, because I want to leave this earth saying I did everything that I can do to be successful for me and my family and for the people that I know and love. You get what I'm trying to say? Because all of us have a purpose in life. And my purpose in life, I realize, is to have a business, have property, and give people information to help their lives. I feel good when someone tells me, hey, and I get this every now and again, maybe every 2 or 3 months, somebody will just randomly comment me in my YouTube and they say, hey man, I took your advice and it worked out for me. Do you know what that does for me? It doesn't feed my ego. It fuels my fire to continue. It doesn't feed my ego, but it fuels my fire to continue. And yes, I do. That a boy, yeah, yeah, yeah. A loved one of mine told me, take the small success. Take the small success. And I really didn't think of it. I'm like, oh, that's nothing. That's nothing that I really need. No, I want something bigger. I want something bigger. And she was like, take the small success. And I really had to ponder on it. I was like, oh, these are steps. These are steps that I'm taking, right? I just not too long ago ordered business cards. These are steps that I'm taking. And you have to, take the small success and actually be happy in that moment. Because a lot of times, I'm telling you, right? I needed things to fuel my fire for education. So what I do, I went out and I got my associate's degree. And I was like, it's a piece of paper. It's a piece of paper. Then I went out and got my bachelor's degree, but I never celebrated. And I don't mean like go out, drink, party. I just mean like, I never just sat down like, man, I did it. I got this piece of paper with my name on it. Right? I know I'm being silly, but just the information that I've learned in school. Then I went out and got my master's degree, and then I took 2 classes within my PhD, and I was just like, okay, I'm done. I was just tired of school. I'm not gonna lie, I was just tired of school. But my whole point is, I never took a moment to celebrate me of all the hard work. I just felt like that's something I had to do, right? I think we have this energy, this vibration in us that tells us that you are greater than what you present yourself to be. Because I'm like, man, I didn't really do anything. I just sat down and watched TV all day. And like, you know what? You work your ass off. It's okay if I watch a television show today. The other times I'm reading books. I'm telling other people to read books. A guy at work, good friend of mine, just became a good friend of mine not too long ago. Is getting promoted here pretty soon, but he's fairly young. And I told him, I said, do you mind if I be your mentor? Because you know the knowledge behind the job, but because you're so young, I feel as though you don't have the leadership skills to deal with people on different levels, to deal with people in different age groups, ethnic groups, etc. Do you mind if I mentor you? And he was like, yes, please. So I said, first and foremost, I'm gonna give you a book. Okay. My son always hate me. I always like, hey son, you probably want to, Dad, I don't want to read no book. I'm in college. You probably want to, anyway. So I told him, I said, I didn't know, how you have so many books in your head. You like, what is the right first book? And there's really no such thing. So the book I told him is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Okay. The name of that book is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And I forgot who the author was. I'm gonna give you the author really quickly. Just bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Just bear with me. Okay. See here. Stephen Covey. Stephen Covey. That's the name of the author. The Habits of Highly Effective People. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. That's the name of the book. And the author is Stephen Covey. Okay. Stephen Covey. And this book was published in 1989. Okay. Some of you were born. Some of you were already 20 then. I'm just kidding. But here's the thing, guys. The number one reason why you're not successful, the number one reason why you're not making money is fear. And Jermaine Scott said it better than I could ever say. He said, take action. I was going to say, just do it. You have to take a step out. Because we understand that fear is created either from traumatic events or it's perceived by us. It's perceived by us. Here's the thing. When little kids are born, right? If you never teach your kids fear, they never know fear. Did you notice that kids don't, like most kids, stay with me, most kids are not afraid of heights until you tell them that they should be afraid of heights. Like, get down from there, you'll hurt yourself. You are, you are manifesting the idea and the emotions of fear. You're implanting those emotions of fear because that child did not know that from that height that it's fear. Now, granted, some of you say, well, I want to tell them that so they don't hurt themselves and injure themselves. I got that. I just want you to get the knowledge behind what I'm saying. I want you to get the intelligence behind what I am saying. A lot of times in different areas, we implant the emotion of fear, right? And that stays with us from them adolescent years all through our adulthood because we have been taught fear. So when we don't see things, right, we can look at numbers all day. Oh, yeah, I see the statistics, but that doesn't mean I'm going to get my money back. Yeah, I see the analytics, but that doesn't show me my ROI, my return of investments. How do you think all those people got rich? Now, they took educated financial steps, but even with that, some of them lost a lot of money. If you looked at the video from yesterday, okay, if you look at the video from yesterday, we talked about Rick Ross, Jay-Z, 50 Cent, and Sean Puffy Combs, and how successful they were behind the education, okay? And the name of that video was Don't Chase Money. Don't chase money. But let's take a step further back. Let's take a step, let's take more steps to look at what is the cause of you not investing? What is the cause of you not saving for an emergency fund? What is the cause of you not starting your own business? What is the cause of you not having a side hustle? Everybody should have a side hustle. Everybody should have a side hustle. I don't care what it is. You go on Saturday mornings, you cut your neighbor's grass for 30 bucks. What can you do with 30 bucks? You can invest that 30 bucks. You can blow that 30 bucks. You can do whatever you want. You have a fetish of scarves. You just want to go out and get a bunch of scarves. I don't know. But everybody needs a side hustle. Everybody doesn't need to start their own business, but a side hustle can actually produce that supplement income that you need to get by, that need to propel you to be even more successful. Let me read some of your notes really quickly. I don't like to leave you guys in the dark too long. Miss Curly Girl says to Jermaine, you are not alone. This channel is here to help. His email is in the chat. Thank you, Miss Curly Girl. Tiffany Adderley says, thank you. Needed that message. I am that person that always think about it and the negative instead of just doing it. Yes. Anne Marie says, hi, how you doing? Jermaine Scott says, we just have to get out our heads. Definitely. See, a lot of fear is created from the mind. And why do you think I give you not just financial books, I also give you books dealing with your psychology. I used to read books back in the day that meant nothing, like Dan Brown's Da Vinci Code. It was just a very interesting book, but I got more knowledge from reading Robert Greene's book, Mastery, The Law of Human Nature, stuff like that. Like, I read those books. Those are really good books, by the way. And William Shelley said, we wrestle with what, if so much, until we convince ourselves it's not worth it or it can't happen. That's a really good point. That's a really good point, Sheila. Is it Sheila or Shelley? I'm gonna go with Sheila. It's a really good point because we create our own fear, then we stop ourselves. But guess what most of us do? We blame everybody except ourselves. We do. Yeah, we do. Yes, we do. We blame everybody except ourselves. Why do we do that? Why do we blame everybody except ourselves? You know why? We don't want to own up to our own bullcrap. We don't want to say that, you know what, I prevented myself from being great. I prevented myself from being successful. Because the things that I teach are very basic, right? Are very basic. And I'm here to assist you in that very basic need, because you want to take a vacation. Now, granted, this year, I like to tell people of my small success when I travel. This year, I went to the Bahamas, and I also, the Bahamas Caribbean, and I also went to Dominican Republic. Next year, I'm planning on going to Jamaica, and I'm going to Brazil. Yes, I'm going to Brazil. I'm very, very excited. And then my next trip is going to be Africa. It's going to be Africa. And I can tell you right now, right off the top of my mind, there's a few countries in Africa, because of their leadership, because of the African diaspora, the way they reach out to us. The first country is going to be Ghana, because they've been calling us back. And guess what? Guess what, Ghana? I'm coming. I am coming. I'm going to Ghana. I'm going to Rwanda. I'm going to Kenya. I'm going to South Africa. Now, I don't know the order, but the first one is going to be Ghana. Okay. When I did my ancestry.com, and I should have went with this other one that I think is actually done by this black group. It's called African Descendantry or something like that. But I think it's actually, this test is actually made up of African Americans or African Americans and Africans based upon your DNA. But when I looked at my DNA, I was mostly Nigerian. I want to say about anywhere from 25 to 30%. And then the next was Guyana, which is Ghana, and some Ivory Coast and some Senegal. Because we understand back in the day, they used to mix. And of course, the slave trade, even when they took our descendants and they made, a male of my size, strong stature, to basically have sex with all the women so they can make stronger slaves. And all of these people from different tribes. So that's why we have all these different DNAs within our blood. So that is what I want. So if you guys want to take a vacation, then that side hustle can supplement income to take your vacation. See, I talked to this young lady at work, and I told her, I said, where have you and your husband been? She just was naming states. She really haven't been anywhere. She's like, oh, I've been to DC. But I said, have you ever been out of the country? She was like, no. I said, the reason why I can afford to go outside the country is because I don't spend all my money partying. I don't spend all my money buying frivolous and miscellaneous and things that I don't need. Now, granted, every now and again, a brother do splurge. I get a tech gadget or I buy something, but I know people who spend their entire paycheck away. I know people who spend their entire paycheck away, and it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. Like, you poor, but you spending all your money. I don't get it. I don't get it, guys. And you know what? Let's take a small commercial break, and basically what that means is I'm gonna just show my t-shirts. Yeah, so give me a second here. You're gonna see some weird screens. Stay with me. They're trying to figure all this stuff out. There we go. So here's a t-shirt, guys. This is the front of my college shirt. I know this very basic. I know it's very basic, but I like basic. But here's the back of it. Clip it with the Raw's World logo on the back. Okay, with the Raw's World logo on the back. I like that because I don't want people to spend thousands of dollars, right? I don't want people to spend thousands of dollars going to college where you can just clip it. Where you can just clip it. Yes, you can. Here's another shirt. Financial Literacy 101. Basic. But it's going to speak volumes to people. They're like, Financial Literacy 101, what does that mean? And then you tell them, just look on the back. Look in the back of the shirt. Earn, save, invest. And then my slogan, learn money, be inspired. Learn money, be inspired. Because sometimes you just need inspiration, but you got to learn money first. The knowledge behind money. Because we understand that my money makes money. We understand that my money makes money. Okay, now these t-shirts you see right here, unfortunately, they're not on my t-shirt website, just the basic black one, but these will be loaded here within the week. Okay, so watch out for this merch. It will be loaded here in the week. My money makes money. And then last but not least, guess what? That's side hustle, baby. That's side hustle. That's right. Side hustle. And I know some of you are liking these t-shirts. I mean, I like them, right? I like them. Let me close down these windows, guys. Anyway. And last but not least, I'll show this t-shirt again. Okay? And on the back, my money makes money. Okay, the emblem at the top. All right? So that's a small commercial break. Let's get back into it. Let me see your notes here. I'm down with Ghana too. Okay. Thank you for putting the t-shirt link up there. I'm ready to go too. Okay. See, here's the thing, guys. I save my money. Now, I know this is slightly off topic, but we understand that the topic of this discussion is fear. A lot of us fear everything. A lot of us fear going to Africa because of what the colonizers and the white European settlers and the Western world have tell us that you're going to go to Africa and you're going to die. Those people are dangerous there. They're scammers. They're killers. They do genocide. Do you understand? Do you understand that Western European powers and also, and the reason why I said it, because we can say America too, but that's just too easy. But let's go back. Let's take it back when European settlers came to America. They conducted and executed and went out and genocide Native Americans. And then with the rest of them, they put them in concentration camps, or they call them reservations, right? Reservations. No. They were concentration camps. And they killed them all for smallpox, and dismemberment, killed, hung, shot, chopped off heads, you name it. They did everything to these people. Genocide. What about the Nazi regime dealing with the Jews in the Holocaust during that whole term of the 1940s during World War II? Genocide. See, they call it the Holocaust. They got these names for it, but it's the same token. All these things have happened, but when they tell us you shouldn't go back to Africa or Africa is very dangerous, wait a minute, is it dangerous for me or is it dangerous for you? Because if I don't open my mouth and I figure out what they're wearing, I can't talk. They think I'm speechless, right? But the point I'm making is this: Africa's not as dangerous as you think. And matter of fact, tell me what's more dangerous. I want you guys to do your research. I want you to write down Kenya, Ghana, Rwanda. We understand what happened to Rwanda, I know, but that president, who they're calling a dictator, he's doing a lot for that country, okay? And the reason why we believe he's a dictator here in America is we have these rules of a president can't serve more than 2 consecutive terms. But he's doing a lot for Rwanda. But nevertheless, I want you to write down those 3 countries. I want to even talk about South Africa right now, but I want you to write down Kenya, Ghana, and Rwanda. And I want to tell you, and I want to tell those countries more dangerous than New York, or those countries more dangerous than DC, where I'm from, or those countries more dangerous than Chicago, or those countries more dangerous than Los Angeles. I want you to do the research. I have known people who are from Ghana, and I've known people who are from Kenya, and they go to those places and they come back and they say, well, they know the area, they know the town. I've been in different country, guys, and I'm still here. And I'm still here. When they tell them that I tell people that I'm American, they're like, wow, you're still alive? Because guess what we have? We have all these mass shootings. I want you to look at these other countries and see what they have. See their violence. See it. Just go look for it. We tend to put our country first because this is where we was born and raised. But this is not where we're from. This is where we were born and raised, and this is all we know, so we are fearful. We are fearful of the unknown. That's the same thing in your finances. You are fearful of the unknowing. Well, I'm here to tell you, you have to take action. You have to just do it. And think about it like this. White Europeans, right? They stole this country. Our ancestors built this country. But we don't know where we're from, right? Some of them are like, nah, man, I ain't African. I'm just black. There's a whole entire continent with countries of people that look like you. And that is the only country, that's the only continent where all the people look like you. Have you looked at the population of Caucasians and Asians in all of the states? Have you? Do you know that you're always the minority? Do you understand that Hispanics outnumber blacks in America? Did you know that? And that the rising Asian population? Did you know that African Americans, we are between 12 and 13% of the population of America with demographics, and that Asians are between 8 and 9, they're rising every year, and that Hispanics are at 16% and 17%, and our Caucasians are at 70 plus percent? Did you know that we are no longer the major minority? We're second. But you don't want to go to a country because of your fear of the unknowing, same with your finances, the whole entire continent of people that look like you. Of people that look like you. You got to go. You got to go. You got to do a side hustle. You have to go to these countries. Do your research. Take a vacation to Africa. See, I'm going to tell you the best experience I ever had when I traveled. I damn near cried. I went to the Caribbean, okay? I went to the Bahamas. And when I got off the boat, I know that sounds weird, right? Because I actually got off a boat. It was a ship. When I got off the ship and I saw nothing but black people, my mouth dropped. Everywhere I went, I saw nothing but black people. I was shocked. I was just shocked. I was flabbergasted. I was like, wow, black people everywhere. Now, granted, I felt a little out of place because they speak with an accent and I'm not from there. So unfamiliar scenery makes us a little uneasy, but that's okay. You'll get used to it. It's okay. But I also felt discomfort, like I was missing something. I wanted to reach out to everybody, even the criminals that were selling dope on the block. I just wanted to reach out. Like, the majority of the people here are black. Then I went to the Dominican Republic, and most Dominicans are dark. They're brown skin to dark skin, and I was like, "Where you from?" They're like, "I'm from here." I was like, "Oh." I felt so stupid. I felt so ignorant, but it was good. It's like now everything you thought, it can go away. All my preconceived notions can go away. Like, wow, black talking Hispanic people that look like me. Then it just makes you want to do the history behind it. And we know the history behind Haiti and Hispaniola, aka Dominican Republic, that the Spaniards took over that side of the island, because we understand that Haiti and the Dominican Republic share an island, and that the Spanish took over that part where Dominican Republic, they brought African slaves to Dominican Republic. And of course, they learned that language, just like all European settlers that make you learn their language. That's why we know English. And then the French brought African slaves to the other part of the island, and that's why Haitian people speak French. They did this to, farm sugarcane, cotton, etc. Mostly sugarcane. Because if you go up and down Dominican Republic, you'll see sugarcane fields for miles. The number one reason why you're not successful and you're not making money is because of your fear. Next is your education. But me and Jermaine Scott haven't forgot about you. You need to take action. You need just to do it. You just have to do it. And I don't want to be before you long. It's already getting close to my hour. You know me, I don't like to go over an hour. That's so you guys can go back and reference all the information if you would like to. You should, if I said something good, let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Also, there's links in the description with my email if you need assistance with anything. You want to request debt collection letter, student loan letters. This will help you getting rid of your debt. Okay, just follow the instructions. The only thing you have to do is read, and everything else you'll totally comprehend, and you'll start increasing your credit score. Okay, and why do I want you to increase your credit score? Not for you can go buy a house, not for you can rent an apartment, so you can start a business, so you can go out and do all the things you want to do without any hindrance. Because let me tell you something, I'm gonna leave you with this. When I bought my first house, my interest rate was around 8 or 9%. The house was only $180,000, and I was paying $1,600 a month for my mortgage. $1,600 a month for my mortgage on a house that costs $180,000 at 8%. And do you know, once my credit got in great shape and I refinanced that home, my monthly amount went down to $1,000 and my interest rate was down to like 4.5. That's the power of having a good credit score. You pay less. You pay less. Whatever it is. Whether it be interest on a loan, interest on a car, interest on a house, you pay less. And we understand that interest compounded, like compounding dividends and compounding interest when you invest, that also works in your loans, right? When you don't pay your loans fully off, when you don't pay your credit card bills fully off, those things are compounded. And that's why you see, why am I paying $30 in interest fees? Look at the amount that you have and look at the interest rate. Those things are compounded as well. So that's why I always tell people, don't put more on your credit card that you can't pay off in 1 month time. Don't do that. That's just a nugget of information. But again, I would like to leave you with this. The number one fear that you're not successful, the number one reason why you are not making money is fear. It's fear. Okay? Last but not least, Sheila says it's all a matter of educating yourself rather than believing the stories we've been told or we told to ourselves. Exactly. This is Financial Literacy 101. I'm Ross World. I want you to learn money and be inspired. I want you to learn money and be inspired. And I also want you to do one more thing too. I want you to go buy my t-shirts. Go buy my t-shirts. Go buy your Roswell t-shirts. You know I'm trying to sell these darn t-shirts. All right, guys. You have a great evening. I'm out.